gon' make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX. I gon' make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX. I'm on post making LPs just to print a check. Got a bag of pulls back just to make a flex. Bridge them with Sparkswap, cause that shit up next. Got my chain gang phone, you can call me through the chain. Call me through the chain. You wanna reach me, call me on the chain. Call me on the chain. I got a drop on daddy, feature going steady. Got my E-hex and my ledger going crazy. Earning all this ink every day, I'm claiming daily. Trailer park boys, and you know we going crazy. I gon' make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX. I gon' make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX. I gon' make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX. I gon' make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. My name is AJ, I am the team lead here, and this is our live AMA. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Not only do we cover our own EMP ecosystem, but now we cover our entire franchise of about 4 or 5 now different projects. So we'll talk about all that today, but without further ado, I want to introduce my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. LA, how are you?
I'm amazing. Hope everyone's doing great today.
Awesome. Yes, no doubt, LA. I know you've been having some awesome family time over this last week, but that doesn't slow us down. We have been firing on all cylinders, and we are super excited to announce the brand new Spark UI is now live. We'll be doing a full walkthrough here on YouTube later in the show, so make sure you stick around for that, and we'll talk about all the bullish updates with that as well. But before we get into that, we have a lot more to talk about with our other ecosystems, and it's exciting. So we're starting the week off with a bang, and as always, we'll take questions at the end as well. So please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we will get started. So first up is CETO Swap. We've had a lot of great success over there so far. As a lot of you know, we have merged with Dex Finance, and our latest project is CETO Swap over on the Manta network. And although CETO itself has been sliding a little bit, I think there was a lot of hype around the burning mechanisms. We saw it reach an incredible all-time high super early on. We've kind of leveled off now, and on top of that, you know, with the overall market sentiment, it definitely had a pullback, but the yields are still incredible. I mean, BCETO ETH, which is the burned CETO receipt token, basically, that is still about 500% APR. So it's still substantial, even with the pullback. And the economics have been super healthy over on CETO Swap for sure since the launch. So with that, we have some dev updates. LA, do you want to read the first update about the 404 automation?
For sure. All right. So tomorrow is the big day for 404 automation. Distributions will be ready to deploy in about 24 hours and less than that now because this announcement was posted several hours ago. We will add a countdown to the app with the exact time. With more than 40K in revenue being dispersed, we have decided to amortize these dispersals over a multi-week period. The full automation will gather all revenue in real time and disperse it on predefined epochs. The backlog will be injected as bonuses for the next few weeks as dispersals are sent. This ensures that no one is able to just cash out after one massive payment on day one and rewards long-term holders.
Amazing. Yeah, that is super bullish. So again, just to recap, the all the while, I mean, CETO has been running for about a month now, maybe even a little bit longer, and we've been collecting the rewards and the real revenue from day one. And so, like Ella just said, there's about 40 grand worth of revenue that has accumulated, and obviously, with all of our protocols, that money is not going to the dev team. It's not going to, VCs or, insiders that are a part of pre-sales. It's going to all of you that participate in the protocol. And as long as you own a CETO 404 or gCETO, then you are entitled to part of those of that revenue. So it's really powerful. And again, we've seen, I think, people that don't really realize that they're getting that real revenue for holding the NFTs. They've, either been selling or maybe they just aren't really paying attention. So, but even still, I mean, it's still, I think, about a 2 or 3x from launch price. And once the rewards start kicking in, again, within 24 hours, I think the rewards are going to be so lucrative that it will have a whole nother influx of interest and people actually, again, burning CETO to get gCETO or the 404 NFTs, and then earning the rewards from that. So, and as LA said, it is going to be amortized so that you will, be getting those rewards over time, and the revenue is still accumulating. So, just like Sparkler, we could see, easily 0.5% daily, 1% daily, again, just depending on the revenue, because the more fees and the more volume, the more revenue that the DEX is able to generate. So it is real yield. We can't predict what that will be, but it could be extremely lucrative. So yeah, really exciting on that front. And the revenue that has already been collected will be dispersed between all NFT holders. Moving forward, the revenue will start being specified based on what NFT you hold. So again, please read all of the CETO docs to understand the breakdown of all that. So, all right, on top of that, the perpetual futures are officially underway. Again, just like the perps on Spark, we will be bringing perps to Manta. So this will close out the final revenue stream for 404 holders. I believe perpetuals are the hydras, I think, is what qualifies for perpetuals. Those are the three-headed dragons, sea creatures. So, and I believe the dev team is shooting for next week to deploy those. So that's super bullish as well. The marketplace is still also in development. We have had a backlog with some other more high priority tasks, including the Spark UI finalized testing, obviously Fusion as well. But obviously we're trying to prioritize revenue streams first and foremost. But we have updated the timeline, and hopefully it will be soon. Again, this will be yet another repertoire, another piece of code in our repertoire. So NFT marketplace on Manta, again, hopefully on Spark or Pulse rather, and then obviously BSC with EMP Fusion as well. So, all right. As a reminder as well, Ella, you want to go over this real quick? With the updated the 404 claims.
Yeah, for sure. So as a reminder, when we updated the 404 claims a few days ago to prepare for the automated disbursement, there was a small amount of gCETO left over in the old contracts. I know some of you have been just letting it grow and haven't actually claimed it or haven't claimed in a while. And so you may have noticed that on your UI, those rewards that hadn't been claimed yet seemingly have just disappeared. But we wanted everyone to know that those funds are not lost or gone. They're just still sitting in the old contracts. And what's displayed on the UI right now is what's in the new contracts. So what's going to happen is that we'll provide a link to retrieve any of your unclaimed funds, most likely tomorrow. And you'll just have to use that link to claim anything that's still contained in the old contracts. And then moving forward, anything that's currently displayed on the UI is what is being dispersed through these automated disbursements from the new contract.
Perfect. Yeah, 100%. So again, just to clarify, the rewards are not lost. We have been going through quite a process in reward distributions. We had to break up the NFTs into multiple wallet addresses that the treasury owns. Again, it's just we've essentially written our own new standard, NFT standard, the 404 standard. So with that, there's been a lot of unforeseen circumstances. Obviously, funds are SAFU. Like Ella said, funds are your rewards are still there, but it's definitely been a learning curve in terms of getting the process up and running. And that's the cool part of what we're doing. I mean, we're trailblazing the DeFi space with code that is not a fork of another piece of code. It's not a copy paste job. This is real, built from the ground up code that is revolutionary. So please again understand that as we continue to build out, there may be a little bit of hiccups, but overall it gets smoother and smoother. And like LA said, once this update goes through, then it will be fully automated and no more issues or migrations or anything else. So, all right. On top of that, the gCETO ETF. So, again, we announced last week that the vaults were now live. With those vaults, just like on Sparkswap and Pulse X vaults or any other major network. Again, we support about I think 8 or 9 different networks now with the vaults. But with CETO specifically on Manta, we are allowing the auto compounding and the ability to earn the gCETO ETF. So the gCETO ETF allows you to passively earn the 404s, the gCETO 404s, and you can burn your ETFs directly into gCETO without any tax. So this is also super bullish because again, there's typically a tax if you're buying off the market. This is just another way to earn those 404s and not be beholden to that tax. So we will be adding in the multi-asset burn feature very soon also as well. And that again is the reason that we are circumventing the tax because that's not ready yet. The multi-asset burn gives you the actual assets in the ETF. So this is a happy compromise in the meantime. So the multi-asset burn feature again will be here very soon, but until then you can burn into gCETO alone without the tax. So does that make sense, LA? I don't know if I over-explained it, but
For sure, yeah.
okay, perfect. All right. Do you want to read this next part about the re-rolling?
Yes, for
Okay.
sure. Okay. So this is pretty important. So PSA regarding re-rolling. We are continuing to make upgrades that prevent unsanctioned re-rolling. Our goal is to create an even playing field for everyone, and we'll take every measure available to us in order to ensure this. Important note, if you are trying to unfairly game the system, you should stop immediately because bad actors may be subject to blacklisting.
Perfect. Yeah. So again, we are monitoring all the on-chain data. Obviously, nothing is a major concern at the moment, or we would take further steps. But we are just kind of putting it out there that if people are trying to game the system, you know, we would, blacklist wallets, and they can always move to a different wallet. But remember that there is that tax. So, this isn't about gatekeeping. It isn't about trying to, be centralized. It's about protecting everybody's investment in the protocol. So we'll have more updates on this. Again, we're trying to be a little bit vague as well, but if it becomes more prevalent, we'll make further adjustments. But this is your official, again, PSA. It's been stated publicly, so people can't say we were never told, yada yada yada. So. Uh, Other than that, though, again, I think once we have the locking mechanism in place, again, along with the marketplace, we'll have an option to lock your more rare uh, NFTs. Again, because you don't want to re-roll one of those super rare NFTs. Once we have all that in place, I think the re-rolling will be very bullish because, it will be lucrative to spend that tax on trying to get a higher rarity. And, you may have to burn, money in the process, but the ability to earn a super rare NFT, it outweighs that opportunity cost, and the revenue should also outweigh what you're potentially losing to try to get that NFT. So the gamification and game theory is going to be super powerful when all of those puzzle pieces are in place. So,
For sure.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So, all right, awesome. You want to add to that, I don't know, the next distribution? Again, we already kind of said that will be, included in fully automated now. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's it. And then just that we have a bunch of really bullish AMAs coming up. One of them being tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be joining Golem's Gems, which is one of our favorite Telegram groups. They're absolutely massive. They have, I think, close to 50,000 group members. They are huge. Every time we do an AMA in their group, it has massive impact. We absolutely love them. So it's going to be a really big one.
For sure.
So definitely join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, which is 5 p.m. UTC. And I will be posting all the links for that in the morning.
Amazing, yeah. So that's huge, LA. Again, we're really excited to be back on Golem's Gems. We've been on there probably 3 or 4 times now. Again with EMP originally, and now covering everything we're doing with our entire ecosystem. So yeah, please make sure that you guys and gals show up to support. It's always great to have the community join, not only to get the numbers up, on the live portion of it, but also again to show that we do have a strong community, and even maybe engaging in the chat. If people ask a question, it's always amazing when the community members are the ones to respond, while us as team members are on the AMA itself. So super exciting. I'm hoping that Jake, Dex CEO, will also join us on that, so we'll both be able to tag team and make a big impact for Golem. So, all right, awesome. That is all the updates with CETO, I believe. Is there anything else, LA, or are we gonna move on to Sparkswap?
I think that's it for CETO.
All right, awesome. So let me get my screen share up, and we will go through this brand new UI. I know, again, we were hoping to launch over the weekend, but we had some last minute UI adjustments, some beta testing. Shout out to all of our beta testers that absolutely killed it, making sure everything works and is functioning for mobile. I mentioned on the last AMA, but this is not Web 2. Web 3 is a whole different animal, and unfortunately, there are not a lot of tools that help developers beta test like there is in Web 2. So we're literally having to test every button, every wallet connect, every mobile device, humanly possible on our own to ensure that it's a good user experience for everybody. So it was a heck of a few days testing that all, but again, we finally came to the final product. So, all right, LA, anything you want to add? Let me pull it up. Give me one more second here.
Yes, huge shout out to our beta testers. They gave us some really great suggestions. We thought it was done, and then they gave us some great suggestions we implemented in the final hours. So to make it even better. And that's what it's all about. We're very big on taking community suggestions and implementing them into our protocols, and especially, our most trusted members of the community who have, shown up to be the most helpful, the most, the ones who have been around the most to raise their hand and suggest things. And these beta testers have been those people consistently, and that's kind of why they're in that group.
For sure.
And so we have been very blessed by their participation in helping out with this. So
Yeah, 100%. So thank you for all the community does. Again, it takes a village to pull it off. So you know who you are, and the more that you are involved in the community, the more that you help us, promote. Like we see people that are putting in the extra effort and putting in the bricks. And those are the people that we promote to beta testers and VIPs, and make sure that they are recognized for the hard work. So, all right, here it is. We've shared some screenshots already, but this is the live site. It went live a few hours ago, so some of you have already been playing with it. And front and center is Sparky. We're so excited to have the new mascot. He's pretty badass. So this will also be, the groundwork for the 404s. Again, a Sparky robot type character on all the 404 NFTs for Spark, and we'll have more info on that as well. But this is the home screen, pretty standard. I am on a test wallet, so I'm going to try to do everything I can to show you what works. If I have to connect to a different wallet, I will. But you can see here, if you are in the farms and have pending rewards, you can harvest. That will collect all, just like on the old site. Obviously, the stats, market cap, total minted, total burned, circulating supply, and how much Spark is produced per block. The overall TVL, 3.1 million, obviously, still very healthy. We've seen Pulse get hammered, and because we are liquidity bonded with Pulse, a lot of that TVL is impacted, but we, again, even with the downturn in the market at 3.1 million TVLs, super powerful, and that's across all the farms and pools. Obviously, the pools have been retired, but if we ever add more, that will count for those as well. Our announcements, it'll link to our Twitter down here, and then obviously all of our socials across the bottom as well. All right, so and again, the front and center on the homepage is what is Sparkswap. So hopefully a lot more people up here will follow and read about the docs with this button right here. That will help them learn what Sparkswap is. All right, to the bridge. Give me 1 second. All right, the bridge is now a standalone link, which again is much more beneficial in terms of uh, in terms of oh my god, I'm on my blank here. SEO, search engine optimization. This is very powerful. Again, it's not hidden in the other exchange tab like it used to be. And remember, this will be way more robust moving forward. So this bridge tab, you will also be able to actually track your bridge on the website. So rather than having to look in your wallet or look on DBank, you will be able to see a pop-up that shows where the bridging transaction is. If any of you have ever used Change Now or Simple Swap or one of those, it will be very similar to that, where it will say, funds sent, funds received, funds deployed on the destination chain, and transaction complete. So it will again give you full confidence that your funds are moving around. Again, going from Pulse, you can do to BSC or Arbitrum and vice versa. And just remember that you're choosing the assets that you want. Obviously, you can choose any asset to do a cross-chain bridge and swap. Just be mindful that depending on what you choose, you may be subject to additional swap fees. Again, that's just a convenience for people that want certain assets. But the most liquidity is going to be the stable tokens. So if you're coming from Pulse, you will do SDAI to DAI on BSC, or vice versa, BSC DAI to SDAI on Pulse. And then Arbitrum is all US DEX. So those are the best routes and the lowest slippage and fees. So we have had to increase the fees. Obviously with the volatility on Pulse, it's been crazy for us because everybody's using the bridge and we're having to manage liquidity multiple times a day. But now things have seemed to kind of level off, and we will be hopefully reducing the fees again to be more competitive. But even now, when you factor in, ETH gas fees and slippage on other bridges, we are still pretty competitive, even with the higher fees. So again, we're hoping that we continue to be the go-to bridge on Pulse. One last thing on the bridge too. I don't know if a lot of people even know this. It was available on the other bridge as well, but you can actually input a different wallet address to receive the bridge funds as well. So this is very helpful for those of you that want to be a little more anonymous, or utilize different wallets. So, all right, LA, anything else you want me to cover about the bridge?
What was the inspiration behind the Sparky
Yeah,
robot?
so that's a great question. So obviously I think that we all are fans of robots, and part of the whole crypto mantra, I guess. But honestly, the DexFi team, their UI specialists, ran with it, and we saw a few um, mock-ups, and the one with Sparky just stood out for sure. So yeah, I don't know. Is there any other background to LA? I don't even remember. It's
I
been a
don't think
while.
so.
Yeah,
I just figured people might wonder, and I just think he's so badass. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah. No, 100%. I mean, obviously, a little bit of throwback to EMP with our Sentinel Squadron. Obviously, those are robots as well. And who doesn't like a badass robot, right? I mean, you can't lose with the robot. So
And
yeah,
that's cute and
yeah.
cute.
Yeah, totally. Well, and we did want to stay away from a food group. So or yeah, so no pancakes, no bunnies, no unicorns, something a little more badass. So
I hope you're not eating bunnies and unicorns.
yeah, that's true. Well, I guess you're right. I said food group and then changed that. Yeah, so pancake swap is a bunny. Yeah, and what sushi? Yeah, it seems like all the swaps are food related, except for the unicorn is 1 inch, I guess. So that does kind of break the mold. But all right, yeah, I'm not eating bunnies for sure.
Can you, I think, I guess we can actually do the questions at the end. We'll just wait till the end to deal with that.
Okay. All
I
right.
saw a couple pop up in the YouTube, but we'll just do it at the end.
All right, yeah, no worries. If you have questions as we go, feel free to ask. And we did get, before I jumped on, I got a few reports that people were having issues with the bridge with mobile, especially MetaMask mobile. But I did double check, and it was working. So if you are having connectivity issues, it may be, something on your end, but the vast majority of all the testing and all the people using it are being able to use it no problem. So in the first few days, if there are issues, please feel free to reach out to us on Discord or Telegram, and you can open a ticket on Discord. That's probably the best way, but we will be, obviously continuing to test over the first few days. So, all right, we good to move on?
Yes.
All right, so onto the trade tab. Again, this is the exchange itself. And now, as you can see, we no longer have V1, V2. So, although it's a bit of a bummer that we are no longer a front end for PulseX, this will eliminate a lot of confusion when it comes to routing. So, all the swap features now are all Spark LP, and a lot of people were using PulseX and the V1 swapper on the old UI and getting killed with slippage just because they aren't paying attention. So now you will not be killed with slippage. If you try to import a custom token from PulseX, it will not let you swap because there is no liquidity. And the compromise and the alpha alert for all of you is we are planning on adding more LP pairs to the deck. So a lot of them may not have rewards in the farms because we don't want to dilute, the emissions. But we will allow you to add liquidity to some whitelisted uh, LPs, and you'll be able to submit to have your LP listed as well. And this is bullish because the more LP and across all swaps, whether it be PulseX or BB 9-inch with BBC or Spark or Fox or any of them, that just means more liquidity overall. So the idea is that we'll have a form on the website as well that you can choose to add. There will be some stipulations. Obviously, we've said it many times before. We're not going to be adding, every random token that ever launches. So there will be some minimum volume requirements, some minimum, community requirements. But we're excited to add more and more LP. So, all right. So you can swap here again. You pick any of the assets. Again, all the custom ones will not work, but all of these will. So Pulse, Spark, S.DI, ETH, EMP, USDEX, and GOAT. Any of the LPs that you see in the farms, you will be able to swap. And then again, it will tell you, what you're going to receive, um, slippage, the routing, the fees. So just again, be mindful of all that when you are submitting. And this little guy right here, you can also set your slippage. Again, 0.1, for the lowest slippage, but sometimes it may fail. Just be mindful of that as well. So, all right, and then last but not least on this page, the liquidity. So just like you're able to add liquidity on the farms, you can add liquidity here. Again, PLS and say Spark. Again, this is a test wallet, so I don't have any. But then you would add that, and that's how you would create the Spark PLS LP, and then you can put that in the farm. So, all right, awesome. I think that's pretty straightforward. LA, anything else you want to elaborate on with that?
No, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, oh, actually, one more thing. You will notice just a lot of small things that have been requested. Like, for example, when you click on the Vaults tab, how it will now open in a new window, stuff like that. You will notice how, did that not just open a new window?
Yeah, it did. Sorry, no, it did. I have
Okay.
that I have
It
it.
didn't look
Yeah,
like it on your screen.
yeah. I have it. I have it hidden. I have
Okay.
my million. I have a million tabs open. But yeah.
Okay.
So
I
yeah,
was like, I
you're
swear on
100%.
mine it does. um, that now the bridge is not under the trade tab, that it's clearly displayed on its own, so it's easier to find. That just things like that that have been highly requested by the community. We listened and we implemented your suggestions, so you will find that, and we took your suggestions to heart, and those things were pretty easy to apply, so we wanted to make sure to incorporate those within the new UI.
Amazing. Yeah, 100% LA. We love everybody's feedback and we do everything we can to continue to add based on people's feedback and recommendations. And please continue to do that. Don't bombard us. Don't get upset if we don't implement the suggestions, but that should not deter you from making those suggestions. So, all right, awesome. And yeah, we will be working on, again, like as I said, the vaults, open a new tab. That is problematic for mobile users, so we're working on a solution to that. The vaults themselves, actually, too, may end up being branded more for on Pulse, especially when we have some more dev time for again, to even look more like the website themselves. The farms, let me just go through the last little bit here. Hang on. So the farms, again, nothing has changed there. Active, inactive. These are old ones that have been retired or that have been migrated. So again, if some of you need to recover your LP, just double check the inactive farms. But in any other case, keep it on active. And you can click staked only. If that will show you only the farms that you have participated in or that you have actual LP in. So just be aware of that. Obviously, some of these, again, this is a test wallet, so some of these contracts I've never interacted with on this wallet. You would just approve that contract and then go from there. And with depositing, again, the Pulse X logo is for Pulse X LPs. The heart logo is for Pulse. I'm sorry, for Spark LPs. And everything is the same that it was with the old UI for that. You can also zap. Again, this is all over recap, but just so you know, and it's very powerful. Again, now that we're not a front end for Pulse X anymore, you can, if I approve this, you can zap in to the Pulse X farms as well. So, all right, I think that covers most of it. Again, if you have further questions, please reach out in any of our groups. Don't respond to DMs and don't ever connect to websites that are not exactly what you see right now. Sparkswap.xyz. But you're more than welcome to ask publicly for some help. So, all right. Anything else about the farms while we're here, LA?
No.
All right, perfect. Oh, and just one more quick thing. Remember, you can click details, and even here, there's a lot of info. Still, almost $800,000 of liquidity on Spark PLS, and that's with Pulse getting hammered. You can actually create the LP pair itself by clicking on that. It will take you right to the trade page to create LP. So there's a lot of really cool things if you play around. So, all right, I think that covers that. Let's move on. Again, we talked about vaults. It will open a new window, so we're working on that. That should be an easy fix shortly. But there's still, let me go, hang on. There's still $1 million of TVL in the Pulse Vault. So that's super bullish. Again, if you are providing LP, remember these are the same as the farms, but rather than manually claiming or compounding your Spark, it will do an automatic take profit strategy for you depending on what vault you're in. So if you don't know about the vaults, please look at some of our older videos. We have a ton of coverage on what the vaults are. We have hours of videos that walk you through it on our YouTube page. And remember as well that we do support Pulse X in the vaults as well. So, even if you hate Spark or you don't believe in what we're doing, you can utilize your Pulse X LP in the vaults, and that helps our protocol and you as an investor. So super, super bullish. All right. Up next is Perpetuals. Okay, Perps. Gotta love that. So this is now integrated directly on the Sparkswap website. So here you go. Bitcoin looking great. So any of you that put in a long are looking really pretty at the moment. And yeah, so we are going to continue to um, promote our Perps platform. Volume is up. Everything is working flawlessly. We are technically still in beta, but we will be moving out of beta shortly because, things are just working perfectly. So, and with the perps, there are the SLP Vault. This really doesn't matter right now because it's all POL, protocol owned liquidity. So we're not allowing other users to add, but our TVL looks great, over 400,000 in the SLP Vault. Uh, if and when we do allow other users to add to the SLP, you'll see your earnings here. You'll see the ability to add more down here. So, but for now, just this page doesn't really matter because it's all POL. So, all right, let me see what else. All right, stats. Again, even though we are still in beta and we really haven't even promoted perps, we've done a total of $5.4 million of total volume over since March 6th. So super bullish, and we've generated over 6,000 in fees. So once we really start ramping up the perps advertising and get more and more users, and people realize how powerful this is to be able to speculate on the overall markets without ever leaving Pulse, and adding more and more pairs. Again, right now we have BTC and ETH, but we'll be adding meme tokens like Shiba Inu, Pepe, Bonk, Dog with Hat. I mean, we have a ton of options, and Hex and Pulse as well. Again, we just got to be careful that we have enough liquidity and volume that it can't be gamified. So, all right, and then daily trades. Again, this will just show you the open trades at the moment and the daily volume. Again, today's pretty low day, but we're seeing at least 20, 25K a day in volume minimum on these. So, all right, anything else about Perps LA? Again, we have a whole overview on Perpetuals. I just want to do a quick coverage.
Looks great. It looks super sharp.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and to have it actually part of the website now really adds a legitimacy to it, and obviously the hacking audit and everything else. So yeah, super.
That makes a huge difference, and it's also nice that it, yeah, like you said, it doesn't have to load to this whole separate website. It's part of the URL. It definitely looks a lot more legitimate now as well.
Yeah, 100%.
And we are very soon, when we do add those new tokens and coins, going to be doing a whole other marketing push towards it. So the fact that it's on our website makes a huge difference, because all of the people we drive to Perpetuals are going to have an opportunity to explore all the other things that are on our website. I mean, it's only natural human instinct to be curious, right? Whereas if it was still on the alternate URL, that's the end of their exploration, right? There's nothing else to look at. So
Totally.
it's really bullish.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, we already have the new pairs locked and loaded. It's just a matter of going live. So you can trade Bitcoin and ETH right now, but more again in the pipeline. PLS, Hex, and other meme tokens. I know a lot of people are asking for Solana, so we can add as many as people would want. All right, awesome. Now moving on to Sparkler. Again, the secret sauce of the protocol. Nothing too different on this. Again, obviously, again on a test wallet, so I haven't approved the contract, but all of you that are already in Sparkler, this should be populating automatically. Again, it's the same contracts, just a different UI, and even again with the downturn in PLS, the 10-year stakes have still been paying about 236% APR, which is crazy. So if you're in Sparkler, you've been getting great payouts. Remember that is the secret sauce of the protocol. Rather than selling your Spark, if you're able to lock it up, again, not financial advice, but the longer you lock, the better it pays. So that 10-year maximum, yes, it's essentially burning your Spark, but you are receiving rewards and real revenue from the protocol, and that's only going to get better over time. Again, we've talked about this on other AMAs. Obviously, some of the fees have been diverted to the bridge to make sure we have a lot of liquidity. Some of the fees have been diverted to the Perpetuals SLP, but all that is doing is making more and more revenue for Sparkler over time. So if you take a step back and really understand what we're doing, it's super powerful. And once we move away from inflation completely, Sparkler will be an absolute monster because you will never be able to get, you'll never be able to earn more Spark. You have to buy it. So those that are, again, building their bags now will have a lot higher ownership of the protocol. So, and again, I mean, we've paid out, look at this, it's just insane. From day one, we paid out, and this is in real time. When Pulse goes up in price, it's even higher. But as at the current price of Pulse and the current price of Spark, which is down dramatically, we have paid out almost $500,000 through Sparkler. So, yeah,
Easy.
isn't that crazy, LA? Again, the numbers don't lie. I mean, that didn't go to the devs, dev pocket, or my pocket or LA's pocket. That went to all of you that are participants in the protocol. And that is what is so amazing about Real Yield and why we build the way we build. So, yeah, pretty awesome stuff for sure. All right, awesome. And then last but not least, there's a little info tab where it just gives you the docs and here you go. The docs, the deck screener chart, all of our audits, and other info you may want. So, all right, that is the overview of the brand new Sparkswap UI. I love it. I think it's completely, bullish. I think not only does it look good, but it makes us look more professional. I think it's unique where we stand out. It's not your typical fork of a MasterChef UI. It's something built from the ground up. So yeah, I love it. But all right, LA, what do you? I know you love it. I don't even ask you. So
For sure.
all right, let's go ahead. Do you want to take some questions? Or you want to go over EMP? I'm sorry, I don't have my notes. So
Let's
what do you want to do
continue
now?
onto EMP, and then we'll do questions at the end.
All right, awesome. You want to start off while I get the everything pulled up, or is it something I got to do right off the bat? Here, hang on.
For sure. So we are still beta testing as a team. We do want to be super meticulous and make sure we've tested literally every single device, every browser, every
All right, guys, so
circumstance to be absolutely certain it is 100% flawless. As you saw, AJ said earlier in this AMA when it came to Sparkswap testing, we do everything manually when it comes to testing. In this regard, when we get to the point of team testing and then beta testing, because we want to test from the, your experience perspective, POV. We're going to test on iPhones, Androids, Chrome, Brave, all the different browsers, to make sure we have tried to do every feature, every browser, every device to make sure we have literally become 100% certain that it's flawless. So we're still in that phase right now. We just want to be 100% transparent with you guys and just let you know where we're at.
Yep, no doubt. Again, well said, LA. A lot goes into it. We are as close as we've ever been. And, I think that, again, I'm trying not to, say too much because we never give financial advice and we try to be as, objective as possible. But we have seen Peg absolutely kill it over the last few days. I think people are finally realizing that we are on the horizon. And I know that we're gonna hear it anyway, but don't be that person that says, man, I could have bought EMP, and potentially had a 10x from these prices, and I didn't. So don't be that person. Again, never invest more than you can afford. But we're seeing the ecosystem really just start to get that bit of new life, and it's only going to get more and more, powerful as we finish out Fusion. We announce a date. We've scheduled again, LA. I don't know if we want to spill the beans, but we have probably more AMA scheduled than we have ever scheduled for Fusion launch, right? So yeah,
First,
yeah. Go ahead.
I have about 15 scheduled and paid for. I just have to literally plan the date with them once we announce the date for Fusion and put it on the calendar. And then I have a list of another 15 or 20 that are locked and loaded that we haven't paid for yet, but I know exactly who else we're going to contact for our second wave of marketing. As you have heard me say in the past, we're going to do 2 waves of marketing. So the first one's going to be 15 to 20 AMAs, plus some banners and calendars and all that kind of stuff that is already paid for and booked. And then the second wave is going to be another 15 or 20 AMAs. So everything is completely organized, all ready, and we're locked and loaded, ready to go.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's so our rollout has been something that LA and I have been discussing for months. Obviously we let the devs dev, but we can handle the marketing front, and we have been building the anticipation with all the KOLs, key opinion leaders in the space that are excited about Fusion. I mean, a lot of these guys and gals that covered EMP in the past, they believe in the team. Obviously, they were impacted just like all of us with the downturn in the market. We learned a lot from the inflation of EMP. But now people that still have their EMP and e-share bags, they're excited, and Fusion is the answer to everything that we've been having struggles with. So that's exciting too, because it's even more powerful when these people want to cover your project, and that's where we're at. So it will be a multi-pronged approach. We'll be promoting the sacrifice dates as soon as we have them announced, and then once Fusion is actually live and producing real yield to all the users, then we hit them with another round of AMAs, with massive APRs, and get even more people involved. So we have a very specific plan, and we are now going to work our plan for maximum success. So, all right, anything else with EMP?
No, not at this time.
All right, perfect. So, and then last but not least, right before we get to questions, I know a lot of you have been hearing me discuss SPLAT. SPLAT is a brand new meme slash philanthropy token on Solana. I have been asked to be an advisor on the project. They're great guys. Nobody will rug. And we will be having my first at least, AMA with the actual SPLAT team right after our AMA now. So 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully we can get all the questions in before that. Join the Splat Telegram, and we'll post the links so you can join us. But yeah, if you're interested over there, you have some bags on Solana. Come on over and we'll talk about what we have coming for Splat as well. So, all right, I think that wraps up the notes for today. Do we have a lot of questions? Or, yeah, go ahead, Ellie. Yeah.
All right, well, let's start with the ones that are on YouTube. So, can you go over how one can purchase the CETO 404s?
Yes, so let me just verbalize it. If I need to show my screen at a later date, I will. But yeah, so what you will do is let me go ahead and you know what, let me go ahead and pull it up because it might be easier. Hang on one second. Bear with me here. Oh, hang on one second. All right, let me pull up. Hang on, sorry guys. All right, so if you get to the Manta site, the gCETO 404, that is the actual token that you're trying to buy. Again, if you want the NFTs, can you see okay, LA, and hear me? Is it coming up on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So it will tell you right here how to do it, but to buy the gCETO 404, you need to first exchange your CETO for bCETO, and bCETO stands for burned CETO, and it's essentially a receipt token, whereby your CETO tokens again will be burned, and then you can buy the gCETO 404. Well, you can also buy it with ETH directly, which I'll show you as well. But if you're already earning CETO, you will, again, I'm on a test wallet here, but you will have CETO that shows up right here. You will go to burn however much you want to burn. It will say convert 1-to-1 to bCETO. You hit burn to bCETO, and now you have bCETO. Then what you would do is you would go to trade, go to exchange, and then you would swap your bCETO to gCETO. And that's how you would do it. So remember though, you have to have at least one total gCETO, again an integer, so 1, 2, 3, a whole number, to be able to have an NFT. If you only have 0.5 gCETO, then you still have the tokens, but you don't have an NFT. If you have 1.2 gCETO, you only have one NFT, and so on and so on. So and then also, again, I do think you can do it from the swap right here as well, just with ETH. So, those are the two most liquid, the ETH to gCETO or bCETO to gCETO. So, again, any other LP or any other asset, you're going to get slippage or it won't even let you go through with it. So, does that help, LA?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And then while you're there,
Yeah.
I don't think you have anything staked in the dexVault on your test wallet, right?
No, I don't, but I can show it.
They want to know how to unstake their dexVault also.
Okay, so yeah, I can try to do it. Hopefully, let's see what happens here. So you would go to vaults, and it's the same vaults. Again, if you're on Sparkswap, you would just be on Pulse instead. But all the way at the end here, make sure you're on Manta. So Manta, and then you can go to My Vaults, and then it'll show up whatever vaults you're in. Again, this is a test wallet, so it won't have that. But you would go to that, or you would just hit Open Vault, and then withdraw, and then you can zap out. The first tab right here, zap out is to zap out into any asset, ETH, or whatever. Or you can do an asset withdrawal, which will let you withdraw the actual LP tokens, and then you can break your LP or put it back into farms to not compound, or whatever you may want to do. And then the emergency withdrawal will withdraw your LP, but just remember that you will lose your rewards. And this is only if, there's a potential exploit, or, the front end is experiencing issues on, the farm site. You really don't ever want to do this, but it's there just in case. So, and we again, the vaults have almost $1 million of audits, so they've been absolutely bulletproof, for sure. So, all right, does that help, LA?
Yes. All right, let's move over to Discord.
All right.
All right. All right. All right. So we already went over that in regards to giving some progress on Fusion. Okay, so we have some questions on Sparkler, and they all kind of feed into each other. So I will ask you kind of one after the other.
Okay, perfect.
So the APR for a max stake on Sparkler is 235.53%. I have a few questions regarding this. Number one, how often is the APR on Sparkler updated or adjusted for a max stake?
Okay, so let's one at a time, or bit by bit. So the APR in terms of Sparkler is very tricky, and we have talked about this publicly many times, but I'm happy to go over it again. It is impossible to predict future APR based on real yield. I mean, it's just, you might as well ask us to again look into a crystal ball and make up, numbers. So what we do is we use the tools that we can to give the best and most accurate depiction possible. And so what happens is there is a running average of what the past payouts of Sparkler have been from day one, and a 30-day running average. Both of those then are factored in, and then there's an additional average that's concluded from the most recent, again, history. So the APR is a lagging indicator, meaning it's only as good as the data that has already happened. But again, if volume is consistent and pricing is, again, somewhat consistent, that APR should be fairly accurate, because the thing that matters in terms of yield is the volume and the price. So as long as those two things are consistent, then the formula that we have for the APR is as close as we can get it. So that being said, every bit of APR on our entire website is variable. So no matter what happens, we have never guaranteed APR, because everything that we do is a variable APR, except for our EMP bonds, which we specifically use the word guaranteed, and it's much more conservative as well. So, all right, does that help, LA? I don't know if you want to add to that, but
Yeah, there's a few more questions that you'll add to.
okay, perfect.
So what factors influence the APR for staking on Sparkler?
Yes, so again, that's why Sparkler could potentially be, an absolute monster. It already is, but it could be even more powerful as well. And so there are a lot of factors. So number one is, again, or the main two, or what I said, is the amount of volume that the site does, because the more volume, the more fees that feed Sparkler, the more bridging volume, the more swap volume, the more vault volume, all the above. So that's the number one factor. Number two is the price of Spark, again, and Pulse for that matter. The more expensive Pulse and Spark are, the higher in terms of dollar value the yields are going to be, and that definitely impacts the yield on Sparkler. And then last but not least, it also uh, there are some other factors. So it matters how many people are in Sparkler. So the more people that stake in Sparkler, obviously it will lead to a bit of dilution where we're sharing more rewards. Or the same amount of rewards among more people. However, the more people that essentially burn Spark to get into Sparkler, that would have a positive impact on the price because they can't sell Spark if they are in Sparkler, unless they sell their LP rewards, but that would only be half of what they, are potentially earning. So that being said, the benefit far outweighs the potential, dumping or negative price, support. So that also has a factor, and then I believe that's all of it. I think I'm forgetting something, but yeah, does that sound right, LA? Is there any other factors that go into it?
So the swap fees, the bridge fees, the vault fees, the perpetuals, the rehypoth. I guess we're not. Are we doing the rehypothecation still then?
Yep.
If we eliminated that from the. Okay.
Yep.
So the
No, yeah, the
rehypothecation.
rehypothecation, yeah, even though, sorry, let me just clarify. So, yeah, even though we're not a front end for Spark, I'm sorry, for Pulse X, we are in the background, those LPs, are still, earning ink. So, yeah, it just, everything is the same. It's just you're not able to switch between, Pulse X LP and Spark LP.
Perfect. So the rehypothecation of the PulseX LPs. What else? I know there's 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah, I know, that's what I thought. I think I might have forgotten a few, but
Bridge,
yeah.
the swap fee, the perpetuals. Oh, the farm in and out fees. If some of the farms are free, but some of them have in and out fees. Perpetual, yeah. So there's a whole bunch of different fees that produce revenue that go into Sparkler, and then don't forget that we are expanding into these other franchises and we're building other bridges, and all of those help to support Sparkler as well. For example, we're just about to build a bridge that connects Sparkswap and CETO Swap through connecting Pulse Chain and Manta. And, that is going to help support Sparkswap as well. We are building a bridge to connect through the Swap X protocol that is going to connect to the new X layer, and that's going to help to support Sparkler and Sparkswap as well. And so we're continuing to grow and expand and build these franchises. And every time we have, I know we forgot the our bots.
Yes, I was just going to say that. I didn't want to interrupt you. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Every
what I
time,
forgot, and that's a
yeah,
major revenue stream. So yeah,
yeah.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah, every time we set up these bridges and these ARB bots, we're generating a ton of fees that not only help to support SparkSwap, but also help to support, paying for our developers and to keep the protocol running in general. So it's very, very good stuff.
Yep, 100%. And again, we have pretty much a fixed cost every month on dev fees. So again, the vast majority are going to Sparkler rewards. And that again will potentially get more and more as we continue to expand and build, like I said, through additional bridges, through more volume, through potentially more swaps, all of the above. So just understand that, and again, the proof is in the pudding. We've already rewarded almost $500,000 just on today's prices alone, where Spark and PLS are down. That's 500 grand that's gone to all of you, not to us. So, and that's the beauty of this protocol. So,
Hmm.
super, super bullish.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that the R bots, again, that's really powerful too. That is what I was forgetting. So thanks for covering that, LA.
All right, we have two more parts of this question. You've already answered number 3. Can users expect the APR for staking on Sparkler to remain stable over time? So you've already answered that. Do you want to touch on that anymore?
Yeah, so
Or
again, it is 100% variable, not to, overpromise and underdeliver because we do the opposite around here. But, again, just hypothetically speaking, as volume on Pulse increases, and Pulse as a chain also succeeds, then yes, we could absolutely see APR increase. And another major, major factor, which again, this was the last point I wanted to make in terms of what impacts the APR is the emissions. So again, the goal is that we eventually get rid of the inflation altogether of Spark. We move again the entire protocol to a real yield model where you're earning part of the fees from providing LP and that volume. Again, those that are familiar with Pancake v3 or Uniswap v3, it would be that style of DEX. And once that happens, again, I said it a little bit earlier, but the only way to get more Spark is to buy it. So when that happens, that could be very powerful to be able to, or to have higher APRs in Sparkler. And it will dramatically reduce, if not completely eliminate, the dilution because if people aren't selling their Spark, it's going to be really expensive to buy Spark. So, and that means less competition in Sparkler itself.
yes. And I think that, after this 4th question, we've pretty much answered all of these already, but I'm gonna just read it out loud just so that this user feels fully heard.
For
Um,
sure.
are there any mechanics in place to mitigate drastic fluctuations in the APR for staking on Sparkler?
Yeah, so again, I mean, we feel like the APR has been pretty consistent. I mean, we've seen obviously it's come down over time, and that's just because of all the factors I just talked about for the last 15 minutes. But uh, uh, even now, I mean, again, the 10-year stakes at upwards of 200% APR. I mean, that is insane. I mean, again, I don't know, even if we do come down from that, and even the shorter time frames, you're still at about 60% APR. I mean, anything above 10% APR in a protocol that isn't going to rug or isn't going anywhere, is only continuing to build real utility and real revenue feeding Sparkler. I mean, no matter what the APR is, I think it's still bullish. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's our number one priority to always, provide more and more yield and therefore stabilize, if not increase, the APR over time.
Awesome. That is all the questions that I see. If you have any other questions, guys, put them in the chat. And then did you want to just mention the bonds real quick?
Yes, thanks, LA. So I did mention that a little bit earlier, but again, to elaborate more, the bonds are the only part of our franchise that is a guaranteed APR. We talked about them last week a little bit. It's the only NFT that has my actual face on it, so that should tell you how confident we are in the bonds. Let me pull it up here on. There it is. So they started at $250. Now they are worth what, LA? Last I looked, they're over 300. I think even more than that now, like 315 or so. So the way it works is that every month there is a 5% yield that every minute of every day goes up over that month. It is a total of a 60% APR, and we will be paying them out in full. I think sometime in October is when the year is up. But you can buy the bonds now as well from others that have already been in. And, Ella, you said it great last week, but it's bullish for both parties because those that have already had these NFTs, they get to cash out a little bit early, but all of you that are buying them still get the remainder of the yield over the next few months at that 5% monthly. So that again is super powerful. So yeah, you want to add to that? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not like a regular NFT where you would put it on NFTrade or something like that and you would pick the price yourself. It's done in an extremely fair way. And so the price is literally determined by the principal plus all of the interest that has been earned up until that point that you're selling it. And so you earn that portion minus a very small marketplace fee. And then the person buying it will earn the remainder of the interest for however many months are left until it comes due.
Perfect. Yep. And again, it is guaranteed by our treasury. We've talked about it many times that, a lot of people wanted us to spend our treasury buying back EMP before we, dove into our other revenue streams. And we made a conscious effort not to do that. And because of that, we are still a protocol. And so, again, with a healthy treasury, that is always growing, we're able to guarantee these bonds. So funds are safe, and they will only be more and more in the fund when Fusion launches and we continue to build out other revenue streams moving forward. And again, we do some other investments of our own and other protocols. We have a trader that does some leverage trading. I mean, we diversify into a lot of different, uh, yield producing endeavors for the treasury. So, all right, awesome. Yep. And Ellie, I think you'll post the link, or you did already. EMP.Bonds.com. Like Ellie said, don't fall for any imitation NFTs on NFTrade or any of the third-party sites. You have to buy the NFTs through our website, and that is part of that mechanism that guarantees the price goes up every minute of every day. So,
and on our site, you just go to the marketplace tab and you can see what's available and purchase from there. And they're worth $321 at this moment. And
nice.
when they're fully due, they will be up to $400 each.
Perfect. Yep. So
that's the 60% APR over that 12-month period, which is working out to 5% per month.
Amazing. Perfect. So yeah, again, it's a great way to. I know you call it your savings account, LA, and it pays better than any savings account on the planet. So I love it, and yeah, it's a great way to again diversify. And in the grand scheme of things, it's about as low risk as possible in crypto for sure. So all right, awesome. All right, that was great. Another amazing AMA. An hour and 20 minutes or so. That was a pretty good one. It's better than the 2-hour ones we've had in the past, but we've had a lot to cover today. The Spark UI is super bullish. Please, please, please help us spread the word. We've done a bunch of Twitter, or I'll never be able to call it X. Call it Twitter always. We've done a bunch of X posts, and I've reached out to a lot of Pulse influencers that absolutely are loving it. Again, I don't want to drop too much alpha, but we'll have some more Pulse coverage around the new UI. So that's exciting as well. And yeah, just please help us continue to spread the word. So, LA, any final words or anything you want to go over before we wrap it up? Go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. We absolutely love being here with you on Mondays and Thursdays. We are super, super, super pumped for a lot more alpha coming at you in the coming days and weeks as we continue to test and move forward on our way to announcing a lot of exciting details that you guys are on the edge of your seats to hear. So keep your eyes and ears open, and we'll be coming at you as soon as we can. And we love all you guys, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Amazing. Thank you, LA. That will wrap it up. LA did a killer job ending it for me. And so, yeah, we appreciate all of you. I echo everything LA said. And as always, we come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. We'll have a lot more in the works this entire week. Another super productive week ahead, especially with CETO and Spark and the final testing of Fusion. So stay tuned for all that. If we do have breaking news, as always, we'll do an impromptu AMA that will, be a standalone. But if not, we'll see you on Thursday with some other updates and maybe even some more alpha as we close out the week. So, all right.
And tomorrow
Yep.
at 1 p.m., we've got Golem's Gems, so make sure to join us for that.
Yep, mark your calendar. We'll post the link to that group about a few hours before, sometime tomorrow morning, so everybody can be prepared. And yes, please do what you can to join live, because that really helps get our engagement up. And then, well, yeah, one more time, the SPLAT AMA over on Telegram in about 30 minutes. So we'll post the link to that as well. So, all right, is that it, LA?
That's it.
All right, awesome. Well, good night, good day. We will see you on Thursday.